I know. Everywhere you look, headlines, social media, maybe even your cousin on Facebook, everyone is screaming the real estate market is crashing, and just like that, you freeze. So if you were thinking about purchasing your very first home but scared of the housing market crashing on you, I completely get it. So let me do you a favor and slow things down a bit and help you walk through what exactly I would do if I were in this housing market navigating these waters. And just to give you perspective, I'm a real estate agent. I help buyer clients navigate these waters just as much as you're probably navigating them right now. First off, let's clear the air. A correction is not a crash. In order for something to be considered a crash, prices need to drop at least 20%. And as of May of 2025, here are some of the markets and how they have performed over the year. As you can see, Florida and Texas are two of the markets with the largest declines, but other markets like California, Louisiana, Colorado, North Carolina, and Alabama have made that list. So most markets might just be cooling off and not necessarily going through a crash, so don't get caught up in all the headlines. Because in 2008, prices dropped at least 15% in just a couple of months and then destroyed everything else. So instead of panicking like a lot of sellers are doing right now who want out on their home, just shift your focus to now strategize because the opportunities are out there and I'm even going to show you some of them.
Every time the market gets uncomfortable, somebody screams, "It's another bubble, a crash is coming." Some of y'all just be loud and wrong. This ain't 2008, but keep crying about a crash if it helps you sleep better at night. I need y'all to understand, 2008 was a credit collapse. What we have now is a weird supply chokehold. There's a difference, and it matters. Back then, you could lie on your loan application, get approved in 30 minutes, refinance in 6 months to a year, no income, bad credit, no problem. Now you need verified income, strong credit, asset documentation, skin in the game. 2008 had reckless lending plus oversupply plus massive foreclosures. Today we have tight lending plus historic pent-up demand. Not to mention, not enough inventory because sellers ain't selling right now. In '08, there were over 4 million homes on the market, while today we're sitting right around 1 million. Not to mention, the population is way bigger. Builders ain't kept up, sellers ain't selling, and rates have the buyers frozen. But that doesn't mean prices are crashing. And if you look at the data, they haven't. Plus, if you didn't know, the average homeowner is sitting on almost $300,000 in equity, So no, the housing market is not crashing.
The very first thing I would be doing is focusing on the long-term game. And if you're betting or expecting a home to be a cash cow for you now and later, I'm sorry, but you're looking at this entirely wrong. Now, if it yields you any more additional money, great. That's just a cherry on top. But in this market right now, I would not have that expectation right up front. In fact, I personally would only really look at it as, all right, do I have a roof over my head? Do I have shelter? Because that is essentially the consistent goal that I would at least want for myself. So I would hope you want that as well. So ask yourself, whatever market that you're looking in, ask yourself, are you going to be happy living there 10 years later? If the answer is yes, then these short-term dips that you see or everyone panicking about, they don't really matter. As you can see here, if I break the housing market into 10-year segments, you can see short market dips have occurred in the past over the course of time. And I hope you were able to see almost every decade had at least a dip and it recovered. So if you buy for stability rather than speculation, you're going to win the long-term game. But there's something I really want to point out, and I really hope you caught this. Just about every decade had at least one or two dips. And in fact, in this decade alone, we already had a dip, and that happened in 2022 to 2023. Next, I'd hunt for deals that other people are ignoring. I'm talking about homes that sat on the market longer, new construction incentives, maybe even a listing with ugly photos, or assumable loans. Each one of those categories that I just mentioned all have an opportunity somewhere in there. You just have to be able to find it. And please, don't tell me at this point, I don't know where to go, I don't know how to find it, I don't know what to do, because I'm going to go to Redfin and we're going to walk through this together just so I can share with you what exactly I would do if I were in your shoes. And I'm actually going to show you real life examples. And to make things even more interesting, I decided let's go ahead and check out a few opportunities in different markets. We're going to start off first in California. So you guys can see literally the address. If you guys really want to make an offer on this, go knock yourself out. Right? But this house has been on the market for 89 days. Something that I know a lot of you are scared to even go and consider homes that have been on the market longer. Everyone always says, what's wrong with it? There's maybe nothing wrong with it, honestly. It could just mean they priced it wrong. So because they priced it wrong, it's going to do long-term damage in the long term. So let's go ahead and check it out. So this is an opportunity for instance. I mean, this person has dropped their prices well over 100,000 just to try to sell it, and they haven't made a change since May. which means they may not be as motivated, or this is legitimately their bottom line. They're sharing with you what their least that they may be willing to accept. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get any less, but just want to be able to share with you, right? Look at this. This is where the opportunities lie. I'll share with you another one, and this is going to be in a different market. So for those that are in Texas, specifically Houston, you'll be able to take advantage of this, right? But these things are everywhere. Again, 89 days. And specifically, a lot of these are going to be 80 to 90 days, just because I want you to be able to see. Most homes are not going to get a price cut in the first couple of weeks. You have to expect those price cuts to come over the duration of time. And of course, as you can see, they're going to either be in 2 weeks increments or a month increment. It all depends on how the seller wants to go about it. But again, another one, 315 to 292. Come on now. What are we actually talking about now? When I will say, if you are going after these opportunities as well, please, caution. Walk into that home with full caution. Try to understand what the heck is going on there before you even submit an offer and get trapped or stuck into a situation you don't necessarily need to be in. But here's another one, right? We'll go to Florida. We know Florida is getting beat down anyways, but let's go ahead and check out their market. This is specifically in Orlando. 89 days again, right? So we'll go ahead and check it out and see what the pricing on this one is. Look at that. So, I like this one. And the reason why I like this is because we're seeing a lot of price changes, right? Consistently. Which means this person may be extremely motivated, right? This is what this kind of screams to me. Now, there's no certainty there, right? You're going to have to do a little bit digging to figure that out. Because the last time that they made a cut was last month, right? And so they didn't touch it since then, which means they may be at their bottom number as well. But let's go ahead and check out the last one on this list here, which is Orlando again. All right. And this one actually is on the market for 91 days. And so I don't know if you guys are seeing the trend here. Go look at homes that are on the market for 90 days and you'll get a lot of information based off of who you may be dealing with, the type of home, how many times it went under contract, what's the price that they started at. I mean, this is all game. This is all game, guys. Come on now. But yes, they listed the home in March, and I mean, granted, they only did about a $30K deduction, but you can see how often, right? This is a person that wants to sell their home. They just don't want to take a big beating. Let's just put it like that. So now you know how I would search for deals that other people are ignoring. And honestly, if I'm not mistaken, all of those homes, if not most of them, are all on the MLS. So if you just simply set yourself on a search alert on whatever website you're on and get notified when those homes hit that criteria, then you could go ahead and look at it. But if you do need any assistance setting up or you want direct access to the MLS, just make sure to click the link in the description below next to agent referral, and I'll connect you to a real estate agent in your local area. Another important step is identifying and looking at your financial situation to see how much are you comfortable with spending on a monthly basis. And please do not leave this up to the lender in the pre-approval to determine this amount, because you'll quickly find out that that may not match up to what it is that you're looking to do. In fact, a lot of buyers I see do that, and what happens is a year or two later they start regretting their decision. Y'all have to remember, these lenders do not know your lifestyle and what exactly is going on. They only look at your debt to income ratio. So if it's not something that's using credit or needs credit or something of that nature, then they're not even considering it. In fact, I love asking my clients, hey, what do you want to have your monthly mortgage be? And let's work from that aspect instead of just looking at the pre-approval, right? If we look at the monthly mortgage, we can work backwards from that. But if you want to operate off the pre-approval only and get sticker shock later, at that point in time, I don't think anybody can help you. Like, I'm currently going through this right now, where I have a client of mine. We're trying to get them as close as possible to their monthly budget. So now we're looking for new construction incentives. We're looking for how can we get the rate down. We're looking for even seller concessions. We're looking to try to even reduce the price in many different ways, avenues. So when you understand what your monthly mortgage needs to be, you have this flexibility of being able to find that opportunity out there that's going to match what it is that you're looking for. But all of that is going to require a ton of patience. But in addition to all of this, then after finding that opportunity or knowing exactly what your monthly budget would be, you should start to even plan a 3 to 6 month budget. Because if we're about to experience, or if you are experiencing a market crash right now, chances are that your job may be up for risk too. And the last thing you want to do is have no money saved up for that mortgage that needs to get paid, and get behind. So having that 3 to 6 month, I would say on a very bare minimum, you should be able to cover yourself until hopefully things weather the storm, until things go over and you can then get back into the workforce or whatever the case may be. But have that at least 3 to 6 months set aside so that if a bad storm occurs, you can at least have the funds to cover that. And something that I forgot to mention earlier, which it's not necessary, but it's extremely helpful to know, especially when you're making offers, is knowing the local stats and local data so that you can know and identify if you are overpaying, if you're getting a good deal, or if you should just leave something all entirely. Because when you are previewing homes, I really do hope that you walk into a home, not trying to nickel and dime everything, but at least try to look for some sort of major concerns that you could then write an offer on immediately, rather than waiting for an inspection to come through and then kind of go through negotiation on that part. And some of the things you can look at, right? The roof, the HVAC, maybe you can take a look at the electrical if you know what's going on over there. But looking at the major components of the home is going to help you in the long run when constructing that offer, so the cost burden isn't only entirely on you. And here's a curveball I would highly consider, especially if we're about to experience some sort of market crash, or if you're even scared of one. Are you in an area or looking in an area that is prone to natural disasters? If so, you might struggle to get home insurance, which means all that time you spent looking for the home, making an offer, negotiating, you might not even close on it to begin with, because a lot of insurance companies are pulling out of those areas, those high-risk areas, and leaving those homeowners or even potential homeowners to figure their own things out. And if you are not aware, if you want a mortgage, you need home insurance.
Y'all want to hear some absolute BS? So I've been trying to sell my condo. Finally got an offer. We were good. We were through due diligence. Everything was working out great. I was excited to sell it. And then the buyer's agent calls me and she said, Jacob, we have a problem, a very, very big problem. We're going to have to withdraw from this contract because we have talked to 3 lenders and they will not give a loan because your building doesn't have the right insurance. And I was like, what? Because I checked and my HOA was like, yeah, we have the insurance needed, because I don't know if y'all know about this, but there's been insurance issues with HOAs and condos, and it's been just kind of a cluster for everybody dealing with this. But I thought we were squared away.
It's not always about the home price. It's also about what's the hidden risk as well. So be sure to have a plan, especially in this market today. And if you need personal help, be sure to click the link in the description next to agent referral, and I'll be sure to connect you with the best local agent in that area. But thank you all for watching. My name is Roney Polynice. Consider subscribing, and remember, I got your back.